Breeze again here on 2nd and 10. And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So as they take it over, we step aside. Field goal unit not out there. They want 6 before halftime. And for the Falcons, 5 men in the secondary, now on 3rd. A final shot before half for Breeze. A fight for the football, and it's intercepted. It's the first-round pick, Keanu Neal. And he will be brought down as time has now run out on this first half of action.
Thanks, guys. We'll get back to you soon for the second half of this tied ball game. But first, let's look back now at this first half of play.
Both the Saints and the Falcons have very low rushing totals. It has not been an effective part of either team's game plan, and you wonder if either side will give a more concerted effort to run it in the second half. So here we go. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. 3rd down from inside the 10. Freeman's going to stay inside after the handoff, and he'd go in for the 3-yard touchdown. He'll take the early advantage. Midway through the first quarter, Breeze is going to complete the pass, and this goes 81 yards for the score. The Saints tied up at 7. 4th and goal. Tapp's going to take down the QB here. This ends up as a huge loss in yardage. 3rd and long. Breeze under fire and will throw the pick. Niels is happy to come away with the pick and end the drive. So that's it for us. We'll go back now to New Orleans for the start of the second half.
Okay, thank you, Larry. A low-scoring affair, all even, as we ready for this second half. On the return, here's Marcus Murphy. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Out come the Saints now. They'll go on offense first here to begin the 3rd quarter. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. Trying to get it to Willie Snead there. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Well, Charles, I know last night at the hotel we were going over injuries around the league and then looking at the quote-unquote next man up and who has really stepped in to fill some big shoes this year. Who'd you have down?
Well, Cleveland, it hasn't paid off for them yet, but 6 different guys have thrown passes for them so far. They've got to settle on a starter that they really like. How about in Dallas? I think that's the ultimate one right there. Dak Prescott stepping in for Tony Romo. Kansas City's had a carousel of running backs with the injury to Jamal Charles.
And one more in Denver. DeMarcus Ware returned in Week 9, but when he was out, who stepped up?
Shane Ray, their first-round draft pick in 2015.
Breeze now on 1st down. Snead's got it. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 7 yards on the play, and it'll be a 2nd down. And a pretty simple completion there underneath, but a successful one for the offense.
Partner, doesn't have to be the big shots downfield all the time. Having that safety net underneath is a great thing for a quarterback.
On 2nd down, Ingram. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 3rd down.
Time to tighten up the seatbelt just a little bit, partner, because that was a safety that crashed in there and made that play behind the line of scrimmage. How about that pursuit?
Now Breeze. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. They're calling a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there. getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
This is Ingram on 1st and 10. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge? Whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football. If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
So nothing there, but maybe you blame that on the blocking.
Yeah, at some point, you've got to win at the point of attack. And on that play, that was all the defense. They made it happen. 3rd and 5, so they bring in an extra defensive back.
Expecting pass. To throw, it's Breeze. This is caught, it's Cooks. And brought down, but the juke, the very nice juke, gives him the 1st down yardage there. Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defense side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
In the red zone this time. They come up with one back. That's Ingram. On 1st and 10, here's Breeze. This will be caught at about the 6. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. Give him 7 on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on 1st down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. On 2nd down, here's Breeze. That's caught. It's Thomas. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. They'll get a couple yards on that one. And that is going to set up a 3rd and 1.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Oh, just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense. Breeze to throw on 3rd and 1. Trying to get it to Thomas, and it's intercepted. Ricardo Allen with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days. I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature and make sure you don't get hurt.
Well, I have to tell the story. When we were going into overtime, you reached over to my spot charts and you wrote the word tie. Very prophetic. I certainly didn't see this one coming.
You know, there's just something about the way this game played out. I just had a sense and a feeling, and I thought, what the heck? Let's Go for it, and let's see what we have. I'm just glad that you remembered that I did that.
You just messed up, though, my beautiful spot charts.
I'll get you new ones, I promise.
Thank you. Now it's Ryan. It's caught, left side, Tammy. And he's brought down. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down. Offense needs something here on second down. It is second and long. And the offense there, the O-line, everybody really on offense, they were just manhandled at the point of attack.
Yeah, you could pretty much call them all out, couldn't you? Almost by name, right? That was a very tough sequence for the offensive line. But how about that defensive front creating a new line of scrimmage and creating a lost yardage possibility?
Still in search of the first down after that last completion.
I'm going to show my age here a little bit. We used to talk about running backs catching the ball as safety valves. Nowadays, they're a big part of the passing offense.
Quit acting like you're so old. You're only 65.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. Drew Brees getting ready to go again on offense. So, Charles, there are the numbers. What's happened here? Defensive adjustments that's caused him to sort of fall off a bit?
I think so. That has to happen. You've got to make some changes because in the first half, they were pretty effective. But the second part is sometimes when you're doing really well, you get off your game a little bit. You get off the gas a little. You're like, okay, we've got this thing. And that's not necessarily the case. Maybe right now, someone just needs to tell a joke in the huddle, loosen things up, and get their big guy going again.
7 yards to go on second down. Now Brees throwing on second down. And Cooks has it over the middle. And he's brought down. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
Some think the teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
Throwing on first down is Brees. And nearly picked off there. Almost intercepted. Instead, second down.
I know that interception was dropped, and it would have been their third of the game. And I will guarantee you, in the huddle, on the bench, all the defensive guys have been talking about is, we've got this guy right where we want him. Who's going to get the next one? It almost becomes a challenge, and they've missed a golden opportunity.
Brees will try again on second down. Caught by Snead over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? Tie game here. Time starting to run down. The defense really needs to try and keep this game tied, see if they can get the ball back for the offense. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Now a play fake here on first down. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And this is caught inside the 5. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Brandon Cooks, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Saints are able to cash in for 6.
I know we often laugh, and sometimes we even exalt the guys who are great trash talkers and give us